Horror the Horror with your host with Moses Jezebel. As always, welcome back. So I am reviewing a Christmas movie, not a horror Christmas movie or anything. A family Christmas film, one that is straight back from 1985. A classic, a very underrated classic that nobody ever talks about, and that is Santa Claus, the movie, starring Dudley Moore, the late great Dudley Moore, John Lithgow, David Huddleston. I know Burgess Meredith is in here for just like a hot moment. A slew of other great actors in here. Like I said, this came out in 1985. This is one, like I said, as I stated, like no one ever talks about. Anytime I bring this movie up, everyone thinks I'm talking about the mid-90s Tim Allen movie. That's a cute little movie. It's been forever since I've seen that movie. But no, it's... Y'all need to check this damn movie out. So basically what the premise of this is Santa Claus here, portrayed by, blah, 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 I just had his name, OMG, David Huddleston. He and his, wife, Anya, are, like, traveling through Alaska or whatever, or the North Pole or whatever, and, you know, this is, like, old in times, like Christmas hadn't even been invented yet. So, they are literally freezing to death. And, they're saved by, some elves, let's put it that way. Elves, basically. They kind of, like, hand choose him or whatever, and they're like, hey, you know what? You are now, going to be, you know, like, the world's children are going to be your children and everything. And they kind of explain this whole thing, getting, basically kind of like an origin story of Santa Claus and everything. A very cute story. And, you know, all these elves and everything are making the toys and all this. And you kind of see some of the stuff that they sort of incorporate into the whole Santa mythos and everything. It's really cute. Dudley Moore, plays an elf and everything. Kind of like one of the top, elves, so to speak. Someone who, basically is always coming up with ideas like, hey, let's do this, maybe we should do this, or hey, how about, you know, this toy for next year or something, you know, I got some ideas. So, you know, basically kind of like, you know, taking pride in his work and everything, loves his boss and everything, and then one year, you know, Santa's kind of thinking new things or whatever, of like maybe different things that he wants to do, maybe having, promoting an elf to sort of like an assistant to him and everything, and it's kind of down to two people, Dudley Moore and another elf, and so they're like, hey, you know what, this Christmas, let's split it half and half, let's see who has like the better ideas, what works better and everything, and of course, the one time that Dudley Moore, you know, his toys kind of fail him a little bit, you know, not his best work, maybe he's a little nervous and everything, does not end up getting the position, so he feels a little, like, just a little bit, rightfully so. We've all been there at work and everything, we're trying our hardest, someone else gets positioned, so he's like, you know what, this year, I want to go try do my own thing, prove, you know, break away a little bit, prove to Santa that I've got the cojones to be his head elf. So, of course, you know, it goes to, like, America, whatever, New York, because, of course, New York, of course. This is an 80s movie, corporate greed, I'm just saying, basically putting Santa as corporate, I'm just saying. And, so, yeah, you know, he's creating all this new stuff, new toys, these suckers that, have the sort of magic dust to make reindeer fly and everything, and that's how he explains how reindeer can fly, is, you know, they know a little bit of this, hey, with some of this little, like, magic dust, I don't know what the fuck it is, angel dust, I don't know, whatever makes you fucking trip and fly, I'm just saying. So, yeah, so he's making these, and, of course, John Lithgow's character, who is this, like, president of, like, a company or whatever, toy company, wants the monies, wants big monies and everything, and of course, Dudley Moore's character, being naive and everything, is like, oh, I don't really care about money, cha-ching, to John Lithgow's character, because he's like, oh, I don't even have to fucking pay this guy, and I can pocket all the damn money, so, yeah, taking advantage of this poor guy. I'm just saying. So yeah, so you kind of see all this stuff happening and everything, and Santa trying to fix everything, but also deliver toys. But no, it's just a very touching kind of story and movie. And there's even, as it kind of gets closer to modern day, there is a pair of kids in here that Santa kind of befriends and everything. One of which, Joey, I think, was his name. This little like homeless boy and everything, really out on his own, no parents, just always kind of fending for himself. And then he kind of befriends this young girl who we later find out, slight spoiler, but not really. We find out that her step uncle is John Lithgow, and she just kind of is basically, in a sense, like, yeah, she's living in this nice sort of like mansion apartment or whatever, but basically she's kind of on her own, and she's sort of left to defend herself, not too many friends. She kind of befriends this young homeless boy, will kind of like bring him food and stuff. And of course, Santa kind of befriends both of them, sees that they're both good people and not wanting much out of life except for maybe some companionship. So, but no, it's a cute little story. I like that it's kind of a sort of a origin story for Santa and everything. Like, I know with the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, that's sort of like another take on an origin story for Santa Claus and everything. But this one, I mean, this came before it, well before it. It's so cute. Some of the special effects, but a lot of the special effects really have not aged well. Very, very 80s. But if you're someone like me who has grown up with a lot of these movies, some of those kind of cheesy effects that have not aged well brings back some memories. I'm just saying. And also, too, before I forget, I probably should have brought this up at the beginning. Fun, interesting little fact about this movie that Mr. John Carpenter was the first choice to direct this movie. Yeah, fucking Carpenter. But the studio decided not to go with him when he requested that he wanted Final Cut and do the score as well, which I'm like, it's John Carpenter. Like, give it to him, dude. John Carpenter wants something, you just give it to him. I think it would have been very interesting to sort of see what John Carpenter would have done with this if he was able to actually direct it and score it and everything, but it still turned out really well. I love the fact that, I know I kind of mentioned this of, like, the corporate greed and everything, but, it does definitely epitomize the whole culture at the time, because, like, 80s was an explosion of, like, greed and everything, and you definitely have that in John Lithgow's character, but then, of course, you have Santa, who's kind of, like, is good and everything and whatnot, and even at one point, this was, like, still, like, in the olden ages or whatever, where it was this young girl sends this letter to Santa or whatever, and is saying how, like, her little brother is just always so mean to her cat, and is always, like, doing this and this and whatever, and, they get the letter, and his wife Anya is reading and everything, and it's kind of like, oh, well, I don't know if this, young man should get a toy, because, he really hasn't been good, and Santa's like, but every kid deserves a toy and stuff, and they kind of are brainstorming, between them and, another one of the elves, Dooley. He's like, well, what if, we make a list of all the naughty and nice, kids, and, you can kind of decide, like, if a kid's naughty, maybe they shouldn't get something, just be like, hey, you gotta be good all year long, not just for, like, a single night. So little things like that, that I do like about this, especially if it's gonna be kind of like an origin story for Santa and everything. But no, it is a fun, decent little one. I believe that this is currently on Amazon Prime, so check it out. If not, if you really are kind of curious and maybe want to pick up a copy, like, I know the Blu-ray itself was, like, just under $10. I think the DVD you could probably get, like, $5 or $6. So I'm just saying, check it out. It's a good family film, as I said. So, but yeah, check it out. For those of you who have seen this, let me know what you think of it. And also, let me know what some of your favorite Christmas movies are. Till next time, as always, you guys, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.